So, it's stated where, not where. Sorry, what's the statement?
In the V card and in the manga, he's stated to be the strongest swordsman like several times, like dozens. And then in the V card, they say that in actuality, he's the strongest too.
Okay, what does strongest entail?
Strongest entails strength and the manner in which you're powerful in.
So that's like, I'm assuming you mean in a fight?
I mean, sure, because whenever Zoro references that he wants to become the strongest or become the strongest swordsman, he's always using that in reference to becoming stronger and growing stronger and his path to becoming stronger.
That can be compatible in the way which the author doesn't look at it this way. So let's say the author says the strongest X character, and then he means really this character is the strongest in, let's say, skill, or the strongest in only physical strength, and then characters within the story say this.
There would have to be a connotation, and the connotation, wherever they're referencing strength, they separate them. So, for example, whenever they use Mihawk's swordsmanship, or they're referring to his technique, they reference his technique or skill as a swordsman. Whenever they use strength, they use strength. They completely use different kanji in every single translation as well. Like they'll use the whole what's it called? They use like the psycho one, and then they use the other one like completely for Mihawk. So they deduce both of these, that there's a distinction between Mihawk also being the most skilled and then Mihawk also being the strongest.
Can you show me that?
Yeah, just go look to my video, go to Mihawk versus Shanks in the bar and go search it up. And I put directly in that video the statement where the government refers to him as the most skilled, where they say he has the best superior swordsmanship to Shanks. And then I also have the statement in the V card where it translates and shows the direct kanji for him being stronger in actuality.
Do you think kanji can be like used for different contexts while using the same kanji? So like, let's say we have a kanji. Let's say we have a kanji for strength, and then it's still used for something else which isn't combative. It can be combative, but not really for an overall fight.
Typically, it's not used that way, because whenever we're talking about katakana or Japanese, they use deliberate things for deliberate meanings. Whenever there's a word that's synonymous, or they're trying to have a word that has multiple interpretations, they'll just state it. Or they'll have like a kanji that's used both ways. But the kanjis for what they use for Mihawk, when it says strength or strong, it purely translates to strength or strongness rather than just power. The power one can be interchangeable. Like we say this guy's more power. What do you mean by power? What is power within context?
Okay, when I say like when I say it denotes to something else, I just mean like you said, strength. In a fight, it could mean like, let's say, only physical strength or an overall strength. Like let's say he's the strongest in his body is the strongest, therefore he's the most durable. So if you say, okay, the way we use this kanji, hold on, the way we use this kanji is just going to be strictly definitionary, then I'm going to deny you for that.
It's in reference to however they refer to swordsmen. Like whenever they use the dai, you know the swordsman rank in One Piece, how they use dai kengo, and they have kengo in different ranks in terms of who's stronger than others. Whenever they use that and they're referencing strength, they're talking about the swordsmen themselves and their ability to use their weapons in a fight. So whenever they use the kanji for the strongest swordsman, they're using it in reference to who's stronger within a fight.
Wait, but that just begs the question what strength means. If strength means this, if strength means something non-combative in both statements, and then within the world's strongest swordsman thing, then that's just, no, you didn't. You said, you just appealed to definitions within those definitions. Okay, can you let me finish, or? Actually, just finish what you're saying, because whatever.
Yeah, my response was in actuality, and I told you in kanji they don't do that in Japanese. You're telling me that they could. I don't care about what you think.
No, hold on.
I'm telling you how Japanese is used.
No, okay, I'm saying that definition, I can agree that it's going to be like something like, let's say, like I don't know the exact kanji, I don't know like what exactly it denotes to, but if you're just gonna say that based on whatever kanji, let's say this kanji, like X kanji says in a fight or strength, because I don't know like what kanji you're referencing, then I'm gonna like, what's the argument for like how you infer the likelihood there?
It's in
like, do you just observe Japanese people using it that way? What? Because to me it could just denote like, if you're using a kanji that's specifically for a fight, if you don't infer likelihood for how they use it, like just for specifically an overall fight, they could just denote to something which is irrelevant to saying Mihawk is the best.
I'm responding to this point as like a person who knows kanji. Whenever they use likelihood, or we're talking about likelihood with kanji or translations, that's interpretation of us translating it and us trying to gain the overall meaning of it. But then if you actually know Japanese, or you actually look at what the kanji says verbatim, whenever they use the word stronger, whenever it's used in any semantic, any syntactical I mean, not syntactic, any way linguistically, for that matter, they're always using it in relation to say that somebody is stronger in this aspect. And then the aspect that they're using it for is a swordsman. So what does swordsman do? What is defined to be a swordsman within One Piece? A swordsman is a person, again, who proficiently and consistently uses a blade. Hence why if we look at like somebody like Luffy and he picks up a sword in Wano, we want to say that Luffy is a swordsman. If we look at characters and they acquire a skill, we want to say that they're a swordsman. Or just because a character has a blade in their hand, we want to say that they're a swordsman. It depends on how they're fighting. Or when Zoro fights King and we see that King has blades on his sword and he's doing certain things, he says, okay, well, what made you think I was doing this? And there's a traditional path to a swordsman and there's an untraditional path to being a swordsman. But all of them entail a person who consistently fights with the blade. So whenever they're saying someone is stronger, they're saying this person is stronger with the blade than another person. So Mihawk is stronger with the blade than Shanks is with the blade.
Okay, do you not see how that still begs the question what stronger means? Like, how do you derive the first part, what you said? Because I don't really care about what swordsman derives to. Like, how you classify a swordsman within One Piece. I'm just really questioning what strength means here.
So if you're saying, okay, you're going in circles. Do you have another argument? I'm going to move on. Do you have another argument?
If you're just going to appeal back to kanji and then say, okay, we see them, like, we just observed the Japanese using that way, where when the Japanese use this kanji, then they're just likely saying, okay, in an overall fight.
You're saying, okay, why
I'm asking you to show me this.
Okay,
like, why
is that likely whenever they use a word in Japanese kanji that has multiple meanings, they use a word that's synonymous with those multiple meanings. So power instead of strength. They don't use strength to be synonymous with other meanings. Whenever they use strength or stronger, they're using it to show that another character is stronger than another person in a fight.
Wait, they could specify it, but if they're using like a strength as in kanji, they could use something synonymous. Hold on. Sorry. So they can use...
There we go. Is Shanks going to be a villain? We know skill based off of narrative. Why is Joy Boy here? Watching disingenuous arguments is so boring. It is. It's super boring. It's like skepticism isn't an argument. Saying like you coming up here and then being like, well, this could be the case or that could be the case isn't an answer. I'm telling you how it's used typically, semantically, and then you not knowing Japanese and saying you don't even know what the kanji is shows me you're arguing in bad faith. It's just like a super bad faith argument. Let me get this person up. Guys, we're at 16.2K. Let's get to 20K. Hello. Richie, what's up? Mihawk doesn't have conquerors. Let's say he doesn't. That just means Mihawk has like the best armed in hockey in the verse. Which I think it's very dumb if you don't think he has conquerors, but it's like, yeah, like he just has the most absurd armament in the hockey in the series to the point where it's just better than characters.